We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Putella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from the Valley of the Sun.
Today, Jill and I talk about who exactly are you doing business with?
I know who I'm doing business with. Do you?
I know who my partners are.
Okay, got it.
Very much who my partner singular is.
Got it.
I honestly, after this whole incident went down in Discord, which I'll explain in a second here,
Okay.
got me thinking, you know what? We have all these members and I have no idea.
Uh-oh. I'm a little worried.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free. And don't forget to subscribe on the Land Academy YouTube channel and comment on the shows you like.
James wrote, okay, this in quotes,
This
venting.
is in
vent.
the rant section of Discord.
Okay. I was on the phone today for over an hour and a half trying to cancel a contract with an agent for 2 parcels of land that I have listed with him. The longest periods of silence was over 12 minutes. Are you kidding me? I've never had
This
these.
sparked a very valuable discussion, I think, in Discord. Obviously worth an episode.
This is hilarious. Okay. As I waited for him to be the first to respond. At the end of it, he wouldn't agree to cancel the contract. We will try again tomorrow night. The total commission to him for both parcels would be $9,000 when he is actually able to sell them. There is a large perspective gap between us. I want to take less time and I'm happy with less profit, and he wants to take as much time as needed and maximize his end. Very, very frustrating, and 1.5 hours of my life spent on something I didn't want to. However, I learned a lot, so it may ultimately be worth it. And learning the lesson of who not to list with is priceless. Thank you for reading. Really just need a sympathetic and understanding audience. Now to go meditate. This
Since when
is funny.
does a freaking real estate agent have anything to say about how much you list your property for? This goes on, we don't, within the scope of this episode. And believe me, I got involved and told stories, and I'm going to tell my story here in a minute.
Okay.
This is a non-exclusive agreement, so it's not an exclusive contract. So if the meaning, which is very unusual, meaning the agent has to bring the buyer.
Mm-hmm.
So
to get paid,
right? So if he goes, if the Land Academy member goes up and sells a property by somebody he generates, he doesn't have to get paid.
That's
but this
amazing.
is just an example of there's just a lot of people. You need to know who you're doing business with, before you start signing stuff. And he didn't do anything wrong. I've been in a situation before too. Again, I'm going to tell a story.
Sometimes you don't know. People don't say I had a whole marriage like this.
Didn't even cross my mind until now.
I'm just waiting for you to say
Yeah, get to know who you're married to.
But some people go into it and lead you to believe that there's something that they're not. And when there's a ring on the finger or the paper signed, maybe then the truth comes out.
I'm glad I'm not saying this stuff.
I was
how this went immediately to marriage.
Because if I didn't say it, you would. So, no, but the point is, I would argue he probably didn't do anything wrong. I mean, because you may do your best to vet this person, and then they are kind of sneaky, and because I'm not like I'm going to spend a week with a person and go camping before I list a property to really see how they travel and see how they roll.
Here's some helpful hints. If this person has 50 listings in the area, they're probably not the dingbat that this person is.
Right.
So there's a few things that I'm not blaming. I forgot the person's name. I'm not blaming you.
James. Yeah, James.
James at all. I don't think you did anything wrong. I think that there's all kinds of stuff that can go on with people.
That's
but there's
what
some
I do.
ways to, I think, maybe reduce the risk. That's all.
Are we going to talk about that now or in the show?
Oh, yeah, let's do the show.
Okay.
Today's topic, who exactly are you doing business with? This is the meat of the show. Is that better?
Yeah. I have a comment.
Listen to little Miss Stickler today about time frames and marriage and stuff. It's total role reversal. Is it like this in your house? sometimes there's just a total role reversal of stuff that goes on.
Like, just keep to the script, buddy. Let's just keep on time here today. Just kidding. No, okay, back to James, though, because this all applies. Who you're doing business with. When you're doing business with agents, that's what I look for. I look for someone who's knows the area, has many completed sales in the area for like kind properties and similar prices that I would gather, that I would like to have. So that's how I start. And I'll pick out 3 and then I have a phone conversation with them.
So in every state and a lot of municipalities, but for every state for sure, there's a governing authority over real estate agents. It's called the Department of Real Estate. And they keep a very tight lid on complaint-driven stuff. And so one of my comments in here was all it would take is filling out one form on a website saying this guy is not
doing what
ethically practicing representing me.
It's true.
And boy, that would put the brakes on that. In fact, what I actually suggested before you go do that, before you go rat this guy out, which I'm not a big fan of, is give him an out. Say if you can cancel this, or I'm gonna escalate it.
We're gonna get on the same page, or we're gonna cancel this. You pick.
By the way, there is no same page. It's my page.
Right.
I own the land.
True.
You just go do what I tell you to do.
True.
And so this day and age, these real estate agents, a lot of them have gotten, they're beating their chest because they're making too much money.
Right.
It's always been that way, but it's particularly now because everything sells.
Right.
So my point about the Department of Real Estate is that you can check on real estate agents or anybody in the real estate business who has any type of license very quickly. It's all public information that you can look up within minutes on the internet. Same thing, the governing authority, I can't remember the name, for people who write mortgages and all that. You can find out whether or not they're crooks really, really quickly. Jill, this is not the main story, but Jill and I we've been a guest on a person's show who I won't name, and he's very prevalent out there. And so before, it used to be when we got asked to be on someone else's show, someone else's podcast, we would check them out. And so I did, this is a few years ago, 3 years ago. And I checked out this person and it's like, well, felony number 1, he was convicted of this, felony number 2. And did it stop us from going on the guy's show? No. And actually we got a lot of notoriety out of it. And nobody's signing any contracts or not.
Oh, yeah, we're not doing none of that.
So just
actually, I like the guy. He's really a nice person.
Take the extra step to get to know who you're actually doing
socially
business with. If you're going to, especially all you funders out there that are in our group, there's a lot of people who do deal funding. See who you're writing checks for. Not necessarily in the Land Academy group, but just take one extra step. Who is this person?
That's true.
Here's my story.
Okay.
And I'll try to be brief and make it entertaining, although it's very sad and tragic. A lot of years ago, many, many years ago, way, way before I had a business partner, I was just a one-person show in a back condo bedroom. I bought a ton of pop after doing probably 2 years of driving around the country, buying and selling tax deeds, and then selling them on the internet, namely eBay. I got the bright idea to contact real estate agents and see if they had any property that they bought, and it worked. I sent everybody a note, and I bought a ton of property in northern Arizona for $175, I think, a property-ish, something like that, some number, $275. There's a lot of them, several hundred. And sold them on the internet. I bought them for like $200 or $300 and sold them for $3,000 each. In the end, it was $500,000 that I actually generated in profit. And so back then, buying something on eBay was very inefficient. This is way before PayPal or really even the prevalence of credit card processing online. We were sending checks. I would close an auction and would send a check. You know how that went. So I found a credit card processor that was dialed into this, and I signed a deal. Didn't really read it. Do you know this story?
I remember. I think I know where you're going with this.
So, this person started collecting all my money and just keeping it.
Yep. I remember this.
And I would call just like this. That's what this story reminded me of that. I would call this person enraged and they would just laugh on the phone at me. And they're like, read your contract. There's nothing you can do.
We get to hold it for X amount of time because we want to make sure nothing's going to come back.
In the end,
it was months and months.
We never got it back. In the end, this is the second time it happened, Joe was involved. So in the end, he kept $100,000 and I generated between, I think probably $400,000, $500,000. and I could have kept a lot more. I could have, made a lot more. So even now, this gets me heated up. So you just need to know who you're doing business with. And it's now easier than ever to find out, especially when you're signing your name. You know, not so much with your business partner here, not so much with, I don't know. But I think if you're lending people money or you're partnershiping on people's deals, it might be good to find out if they're career money raisers instead of career land investors.
Right. Well, the nice thing too is it's if you're lending money, back to that situation you just mentioned, if you're lending money on a property, I feel good as long as I'm not a percentage of it. If you're tied in, if like you and I split the property, we're locked in.
Yeah.
And you decide, no, I don't think that's a good price. I don't want to sign. I'm not selling. I'm like, great. But if my name's all on the property, which it usually is, I'm usually funding 100%. So my name's on the deed anyway. I still get to call the shots.
Right.
Which is nice. So you have that as a cushion if you're a funder. Well, and then how about the flip side? What if you're the person that's not the funder and you're the deal manager? You found the deal and then your funder decides, no, this is not how I want it to go. And you did all the work. You need to vet them and make sure they're good and legit and you're on the same team. You know, even though you have a contract, hopefully you sign a contract. What's so funny?
Jill's trying to make this positive.
I am, but I'm warning
That's what
you.
Jill does.
But I want you to, make sure you guys have a contract together. Do one deal. That's why I also, we always say, don't do 10. Do one deal together. See how it goes. Make sure you guys work well together and then go do more. Don't start out of the gate with a, hey, let's go get an LLC together and do all that, get all embedded with each other, and then find out that we don't agree. That's not good.
Yeah, being on an LLC with a partner that you don't know a lot about,
correct,
is like getting out of a messed up marriage. You're going to pay.
I knew that was going to come up.
I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you're so tied into versus doing a land deal where it's like, I'll put up the money, you do the work. We're not, that's the end of it.
Right.
And if you screw it all up, I get the land because I paid for it. And so good luck.
Yeah.
And believe me, we've been on that side of that.
And here's how long we all agreed on that it should take to sell it. Here's the price that we're all agreeing on. Done. It's good. If you need access to any sort of ownership or property details, including owner phone numbers and FEMA flood map overlays, please check out parcelfact.com or neighborscoop.com. Created by investors, that's us, for investors like you. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week, you can find us here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called How Improving Your Mailer Yield is Fiction. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Improving your mailer yield is fiction. I'm
teaching a class right now.
Okay.
It's called Get Your Mailer Out. And it falls under the phrase intensive. It's an intensive class for people who want step-by-step instruction from me live to get their mailer out. And so with every new person, especially on the technical side, the Jack side of this, there's a floods and floods of questions like this. Well, you explain it this way, Jack. You do this, this, and this. This is how you find a good location to buy a property. And then this is how you scrub the data down. But even if you did it this way, wouldn't it be better? To which I say, maybe. And I'll talk about it tomorrow.
You're cracking me up today. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you found our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please check out our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button.
We are Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.